Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Evelyn host Shorty and need to kind of start with a bit of an apology. I've been ill for the last couple of days. I'm a bit spacey. I'm medicated. I might sneeze. I might be blowing my nose. I am better, but just to warn you ahead of time. This is the fun of doing these live in one take. Sometimes it gets weird. Anyway, we're going to review the variants. This is actually the variant cover to the variants with Scott Young making jokes about the fact that it is a variant cover. Very funny, Scotty Young. And it's kind of hard to discuss this really without getting to the fact that the whole variants multiverse thing is a big thing at the moment. Obviously, the huge success of Everything Everywhere All at Once totally launched the idea of multiversal movies, and other things that came out before it obviously were just, laying the groundwork for it. Marvel themselves, comic books wise, have done Spider-Verse and there's also Venomverse things, and the idea of the various different Lokis and all that kind of thing. This stuff exists within the Marvel universe, both comics and movies and TV shows already. And when I first started doing it with Jessica Jones, of all people, I was a little bit, I was thinking this felt like a bandwagon that they were just clambering onto. And I was worried that it would just come across that way, that when I was reading it, I would just see it for what it was, which is just a basic way of cashing in on what is considered at the moment to be a popular style of storytelling. And then I realized it was Gail Simone doing the writing for it. I don't think Gail Simone's the kind of person you put on something when she's just there to, clamber on a bandwagon. I think Gail Simone is good enough writer that she actually probably had a really good idea for it, and was hopefully allowed or will be allowed to stretch her creative muscles quite a bit. Either that or it's exactly what I think it is, and they put Gail Simone on it to make absolutely certain that nobody else would think it was anything other than a great comic book. We have Phil Noto on the artwork as well. And he's a famous artist, and he's pretty damn good. I'm glad that he's doing Jessica Jones rather than Daredevil, because his Daredevil did not work for me at all. That kind of was also due to the very soft colouring. In this one, the colouring is a little bit more standard full colour kind of thing. It does feel very Marvel in-house style. There's a fight scene in a diner between Jessica Jones and a very cut-price Tombstone, which is kind of a lot of fun, really. It's the fight is entirely over in like 4 panels. Because it's Jessica Jones against somebody who just thinks they're a gangster wearing a silly hat. And it's kind of nice to have that, like, just a thing that happens in her day of the life. Because a lot of the way through it does feel like a day in the life story of Jessica Jones, including getting makeup and not going to a coffee shop because she's quit caffeine, meeting Daredevil after passing out. But then there's a fight scene at the end where we get a proper lead into the whole variant thing and there being more than one Jessica Jones in this universe. And the fight scene at the end is clunky, is probably the best way to describe it. Like, the individual bits of artwork all look fine for it. The characters look like they are in motion, and it looks like damage is being dealt out. But other than an integrated bit of onomatopoeia, which I always like, you do have like unnecessary motion lines and even impact points drawn out onto the page, which feels like it's unnecessary for something that is as down to earth as Jessica Jones. Because she is very much an every woman character. It's kind of easy to have female characters in Marvel or in any comic book things and draw them to a kind of idealized standard. Jessica Jones is just an everyday person. And it's kind of nice that that's how she exists within most of the stories. Well, Noto actually does a really good job of drawing her. There's an excellent bit where she's trying on various different colours of lipstick, and you do get a sense of building up towards the idea of the different people she could be if she allowed herself to. And he has a lot of fun, just little changes to facial expression to show different moods as she's trying on the different bits of makeup. But the artwork is, I say, it's let down the fight scene at the end. But for the most part, it's great. The writing, though, is the main thing that I like in this one, because Gail Simone writes such a dry sense of humor. It is brilliant. It is exactly the kind of stuff I like. You have wonderful bits where she meets Daredevil, and she lies to him, but she does it in a form of a question. It's like, would you believe me if, la, la, la. And his response is, of course I would, Jessica, if for no other reason than as a common courtesy. Because he knows she's lying. He absolutely does. He's Daredevil. He can tell from her heart rate and so many other things. He just knows. But it's that fun thing of these two knowing each other quite well and know each other for a long time. Both of them kind of just accepting that their relationship isn't quite normal, but having fun with it. It's that thing you get with two people who know each other very well, bouncing jokes off each other at each other's expense, but none of it actually being harmful because they both know each other and know what the boundaries are. It's kind of thing which an awful lot of idiots out there think is what banter is, but they do it with strangers and just insult people. It only really works with people you know, And the way Gail Simone writes it is brilliant. Jessica Jones' sense of humor is very dark and very dry, but it is also funny, and you can't deny that. And she does write these characters brilliantly. It's only a 5-issue miniseries, and yes, it's also tying in an awful lot of the stuff that Marvel are doing at the moment, and it could just be there to as a cash grab on the popular thing. But for the most part, it looks good, and throughout it all, it's written really well, so it could very much be worth your time. That's it from me today. I hope tomorrow I'm going to do better for you. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.